Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 2nd, 2021. You're now watching Real Talk with Ronnie live. First of all, I want to wish everybody a very, very happy new year. 2021 is now officially in the books, and we are in 2022. And what a year it has been so far. There's a few things I want to announce before we bring up our special guest for tonight. So we are trying to do a cross promotional for my show. So I would like to introduce you guys to a very fine restaurant, the fine Italian restaurant called Nanny's. When I had my fundraisers, both my fundraisers on my head here, and we're trying to promote our show. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, each week we're gonna give away a gift certificate. I'm holding it up right here. It's a gift certificate for $75 at Nanny's Ristorante in Rochelle Park, and I'm gonna share with you the website. Okay, so this is Nanny's Ristorante in Rochelle Park. Okay, it's a fabulous, fabulous place for fine Italian food. It's located at 53 West Passaic Street in Rochelle Park. That's their phone number, 201-843-1250. And of course, you can check them out at their website, nanny.com. The owner of this restaurant is by the name of Manny. He's a sweet, sweet guy, a Republican, a big supporter of our cause. So I just wanted to plug his restaurant here. So please check it out, nanny.com. So this is what we're going to do on this show for this week. All right. So at the end of this show, all right, at the end of this show, I would like you to put a post on Facebook, okay, tag my show, get people to come to Real Talk with Ronnie, and the person who wins the first $75 gift certificate is the person who successfully tags 75 people in their post to come watch Real Talk with Ronnie. So what I want you to do is make a post on Facebook at the end of today's show. Okay, make a post on Facebook, tag Real Talk with Ronnie, tag 75 friends, take a screenshot, message it to me on Facebook Messenger. You can find me on Ronald Joseph Lynn. All right. And the first person who sends me a screenshot of 75 people that they've successfully tagged for my show will get this gift card. $75. Okay. $75. That is good for, I believe, the entire year. It's a lovely, lovely restaurant, delicious food. And yep. So once I get the winner, I will ask for your address and I will send you the gift card. All right. So that contest will begin at the end of today's show. Oh, we have a comment here. Love Nanny's restaurant. Good food and good people. That's right. Okay. Peter, that's a lot of work. LOL. Well, it's a lot of work because it's a good restaurant. It's an excellent restaurant. So you got to work for it, right? So 75 people, tag 75 people. The first person who tags 75 people, screenshot it, send it to me, and I will send you the gift card. Okay. All right. That being said, another big news. So my good friend, Diana Cerejo, who ran for Woodcliff Lake Council, in the coming months in February, we are going to start our own show. So Ronnie and Diana. So that show is going to be coming up in February. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. And other news, as I mentioned, my wife gave birth to our son on the 22nd, a healthy baby boy. I want to thank the staff at Hackensack Hospital for doing a phenomenal job. Mother and child are both doing great. So thank God for that. All right. On today's show, we have a spectacular guest. This is the ultimate David and Goliath story. Edward Durr is a truck driver, right? A plain, average, normal guy, a patriot though, and he loves his country. He ran for state senate in 2021 against arguably the most powerful Democrat in New Jersey history. Steve Sweeney was the Democratic Senate president for the past 20 years, longest serving Democratic Senate president in the history of New Jersey. And single-handedly, Ed Durr took him out this past November. Since that happened, Ed has been on all the major, media sites. Let me just share a few of the headlines that Ed has been on. Okay, this is Ed on the New York Times, on the New Yorker, Washington Times, Politico, okay, Fox News, the dreaded CNN, right? And US News. So he has been everywhere, okay? What I'd like to do now is also show you his campaign video that he shot for his campaign. And he shot this campaign video through his cell phone, right? Let's roll clip.
Hello, my name is Edward Durr. I'm running for New Jersey State Senate. I've lived here all my life, raising my 3 kids. In 2020, my opponent sat by and watched as Governor Murphy forced nursing homes to take in COVID-19 patients, resulting in the death of over 8,000 of our seniors. He remained silent as Governor Murphy, with his lockdown and mandates, forced the closing of over 1/3 of our small businesses, costing New Jersey families thousands of jobs. He has done nothing, as 7 out of every 10 moves are leaving the state, placing a heavier burden on those of us who remain. The Senate President has spent 20 years in Trenton. Higher taxes, increasing debt, and a rising cost of living. We deserve better. New Jersey, it's time for a change. So together, let's end single-party rule. Vote for me, Edward Durr, for Senate.
Wow, what a great clip, all shot through his cell phone. Mr. Edward Durr, State Senate-elect Edward Durr, thank you so much for coming on our show tonight.
Well, thank you for having me, Ronnie. And first, I want to say congratulations to you and your wife on having a new baby boy. I know what it's like to have kids. That's my main reason why I'm in this game.
Great. So Ed Durr, the Dragon Slayer, the Giant Killer, you did what no one thought was possible, right? So why don't we start off by asking you, who exactly is Ed Durr?
First off, I want to correct one thing. You showed clips. I was never on CNN. They might have ran a story about me, but I never did an interview with CNN, and I will refuse to do anything for a leftist media.
Okay.
But getting back to myself, I was born and raised in New Jersey, lived here all my life. Yeah, I'm a son of a carpenter, home improvements guy. Just a regular blue collar guy. I've done many different trades in my life, but for the last 25 years, I've been a truck driver. I raised 3 kids, and I have 6 grandchildren, and that's just about what I am. I'm just the average guy. I go to Wawa, get my gas, go to ShopRite and get my food. I ride my bike on the weekends when I can. Didn't get that much this year. I was walking it all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I think I read from an article somewhere that said that you lost 55 pounds throughout the course of this campaign from all the door-to-door, right?
Yeah, see, that video, I was actually still probably a good 230, 240. And I'm down to about 204 now.
Well, that's great. All right. So, Ed, what exactly made you decide to run for state senate? Because I know that you ran for office prior, right? You ran 3 other times. You ran in 2017 and 2019 for state assembly. I think you ran last year for council, right? And then, in 2020 you ran for council, and then last year you decided to run for state senate. So, why state senate that time?
Well, I more or less, excuse me, I'm sorry. I thought more or less that I was done with politics. And I just went and said to my chair that if she wanted me to do anything, just let me know, and I would help out in any way possible. And that's when she just said, would you consider running for state senate? And I said, absolutely. It didn't take me that long, Jackie Vigilante, she came and just asked me, and when you're asked, you step up. Because if she believed I could do it, Who am I to challenge her choice?
Okay. Now, in your race, you beat Steve Sweeney by 4 percentage points. I think the margin of victory for you was 52% to 48%. You garnered around 32,000 votes. Sweeney got 30,000. Now, it's interesting to note that Sweeney has been elected or reelected 6 times, right? And he had always won by over 50%. In fact, the last time he ran in 2017, he was elected with over 59%, which was one of his biggest margins. And that was only 4 short years ago. So what do you think was it about this time that completely flipped the script and made him lose?
Well, again, I'm a numbers guy, and if you go back and look at Senator Sweeney's numbers, he's pretty much been consistent with where he gets and how many votes he'll get. It was getting the people to come out and vote for me. It wasn't so much, suppressing his vote as much as increasing the Republican vote. And
Right.
that's what myself and my volunteers helped do by knocking on the doors and reaching out to the public. We were able to get the 12 or 13,000 extra people to come out and vote in our district, which
Yeah,
gave me the win.
Yeah, I think I saw that, throughout all of Sweeney's races, he's pretty much garnered around 30,000 votes, right?
Yeah,
This time
more or
around,
less.
yep. This time around, you were able to get 10,000 plus more votes than his opponent did in 2017. Now, is that attributed just to door knocking and meeting the voters, or did you do anything that was super special and super different?
Well, I keep saying it. Of course, I did some work. My volunteers did work, but I think it was a combination of multiple factors. You have a governor who was ruling as a king, so you had an angry citizen base. They were angry about the policies that were taking place. Then you had Senator Sweeney, who chose not to challenge him for the last 2 years. I mean, Governor Murphy did as he chose. I mean, he is the Senate president, and he had the power to call the legislature at task and challenge the governor on these executive orders and mandates. That is exactly what our Constitution calls for, an equal branch of government, but he chose not to. So it was a multitude of areas that took place. And then, good, hard, grassroots campaigning, having the right message. We worked as a team, myself, my 2 running mates, Beth Ann McCarthy-Patrick and Beth Sawyer, along with other Gloucester County candidates in Nick DeSilvio and Chris Conowell, both county commissioners who got sworn in Saturday. So I was honored to be standing there with them. And then you had Jonathan Sammons, the sheriff, gets sworn in last week. And then we had multiple local candidates. Actually, just tonight I was at Pittman for the swearing in of Courtney Millwood and Vince Cup, for council. And then you have Wanda Tranquillo and Brian Nastasi in Gibbstown. We all work together with a unified message of, this is what we need to do. So they would, campaign for me and I would campaign for them. It was a shared process because there was no way one person could get every door by themselves.
Right. Okay. One big story that came out of your campaign was that, it was reported that you spent only around $153 on your campaign. What's the truth behind that? How much money did you actually spend?
All right. $153 was the money that was spent prior to the primary. The primary, I went in uncontested, so I knew I didn't need to really campaign during the primary because I was going to get the nomination.
Right.
So after the primary, that's when I started spending money. And in election terms, it wasn't a lot, but for me, it was a lot because half of it was mine. I spent about $6,500, $7,000.
Okay.
And half of that was out of my own pocket.
Right. Okay. So you spent around $65,000 to $7,000 to take down the longest serving Democratic Senate president in the history of New Jersey, who, by the way, I believe he had around like $1 million, right?
Well, I was told 1.8 million was spent.
Okay, so he spent close to $2 million, and that was no use against dangerous Durr. And by the way, why are you dangerous, Durr?
Well, the governor said I was dangerous. Don't you recall after the
Oh, that's right.
little social media faux pas came out? He said that this guy is dangerous, so I'm going to run with that. If he thinks I'm
Okay.
dangerous, I am absolutely dangerous. I'm dangerous to him. I'm dangerous to his agenda because I do not agree with the governor. The governor has ruined this state. He has continued to cause harm to the citizens. He calls me dangerous, yet this is the man who sent sick patients into nursing homes, resulting in the death of over 10,000 elderly. This is the man who chose to lock down a state and force more than 1/3 of our small businesses to close. People who are going without jobs, who don't have unemployment checks, who are told that they cannot collect their rent, who live on rent. They're calling them robber baron landlords, but these are mom and dads who depend on this rent. He's the guy who's forcing kids to wear masks. He's the one who's actually causing our nurses shortage, because he's the one who decides, well, you got to have an injection to keep your job. Nobody has a right or a choice in this. I'm not telling people whether it's right or wrong for the vaccine, or right or wrong for the mask. That is their own personal choice. What I believe in, I need to fight for, is their personal choice, because the government is taking it away.
Okay. Now, Senator-elect Durr, you are getting sworn into office on January 11th, right?
Yes.
Upon getting sworn in, what are the 3 main things that you hope to accomplish in Trenton?
Well, naturally, I want to make the state more affordable. I want to make it easier for people to live here and retain their status of living, because many people retire and they end up leaving the state because they cannot afford to live here on their retirement. I want to see our schools have a more fair, balanced, program set up on distribution of funds. Because it seems strange that one school location would, have so much spent on a student while another gets so little spent. There has to be a more balanced, a better system set up in that regard. And of course, I'm fighting for people's rights. I want their rights restored. It doesn't matter if it be, their personal religious freedom rights, their speech rights, or their 2A rights. It's rights that were guaranteed in the Constitution. It's guaranteed by God himself, not man. Government was instituted to protect our rights, not steal them away from us.
Okay. Now, Senator, so there has been reports that when you first ran for this race, you weren't expecting to win, right? Because you do, after all, live in a district that is has more Democrats, right? So when you actually did win, though, what was going through your head?
Well, first off, I went in and accepted the challenge from Jackie, knowing that I'm not expected to win, and I know I probably might not win. But after the primary and the primary results, I had a stronger confidence that I kept saying at that time, I believe it's a 50-50 coin toss because of how the turnout came in the primary. Right. And then later on during the summer, I really had the confidence that I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know that the social media, all this fanfare about the election was going to be as big as it was. I knew it would be somewhat of a story, but not the story that has been created.
Right. Now, I also read that, there was an article saying that, and this is true for anybody, right? You were all of a sudden shoved into this national limelight, right? And you, I believe you said that you felt like throwing up, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a very comfortable person in front of an audience. I can talk to a person one-on-one, no problem. That's right. Easy. I got a big mouth, but when you're on a stage, it's a new kind of thing to get used to.
Yep. What are some of the some of the surprising things that you've learned from getting all this fame, this newfound fame? What are the biggest changes?
Well, generally I'm right now I'm very appreciative of everybody's support. They truly, want to see me do well. They're very happy. It has inspired many people. I'm constantly getting emails and text messages from people saying, now I'm considering running for government. And that's what I want to see. I want to see people get involved in their government, whether it be Board of Education or council or mayor or run for state senate. Get involved, make your voice heard. And that's what I keep telling the people. See what happens when people come out and vote. It actually does make a difference, because people say, oh, my vote never counts. My vote doesn't matter, but it does. It truly does. And if you get involved, things like this can happen.
Right. Okay. We have a comment here from Ramon Hernandez.
Oh, Ramon's a good guy. I know him.
Yeah, but he is everywhere, right? Murphy did ruin the state, including the nursing home deaths, but the problem is people still vote for someone like him. Even the workers' unions, they support him while selling out the workers. What are your thoughts on that, Senator?
Well, I have no problem with union workers. Actually, Nick DeSilvio, the county commissioner, is a union electrician. I was in the union in my earlier years. I don't have an issue with union. I have an issue with their upper management not looking out for the unions. They do tend to support democratic policies that seem to actually backfire and be more harmful to the worker. So I think there definitely needs to be a change in things.
Okay. Now, what are your thoughts about the politics in New Jersey and the country going forward? Do you feel that New Jersey is slowly shifting more red, or what do you think?
Well, first off, I never thought Jersey was a blue state, as people like to portray us. I think we are a red outer pockets with a big blue strip down the middle that tends to have a nice turnout, and we have a low turnout in most elections. But I know we're down about 1 million votes as compared to registration Democrat to Republican. But if you throw them independents in there, we do just fine. I think we are definitely could be a pivotal state for any national election. And I would like to see Jersey become more of a focal point, because we are a great state. We are a state that sits, in the hub of everything. We have New York City at our north and Philadelphia to our west. You have DC to our south. We have great peers. We have shipping. We have industries. We have fossil fuels. We have natural. We have as the governor's pushing with the wind farms and the solar power. We have everything in the state. Agriculture, and it doesn't make sense for us to be in debt. Why are we struggling? And I'll tell you why we're struggling. Because the government that is running it does not have a friendly environment to business. If you have more companies, you have more jobs. If you have more jobs, you have more workers. More workers are more revenue into the state income, which means a lower tax for everybody else to pay. It seems simple, don't
it? Yeah, it seems simple, but in practice, right, it's a whole different story. So, Senator, you are running again in 2 years, right, for a full 4-year term, right?
Correct.
So that's the way it works here in Jersey. When you run in 2 years, will there be anything differently you do in that race, or will you stick to the same script?
No, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get out there and knock the doors, talk to the people, learn what is on their mind, what is important to them. Hopefully in these 2 years, I will be able to help many folks. I was actually very fortunate. We've already helped about a half dozen constituents who have reached out to us, prior, and I was able to get them with their unemployment, even though they had reached out to the services here in this district, and they were told that they were shutting down because they're done, and they were not helping them. So we were able to get them contacted to the right people. And a girl actually contacted me the other day saying, "Thank you very much. I got my check last night."
Great. So you're not even sworn in yet you're already helping the people who you were elected to help. So that's great job. Great job. If we have more politicians like that, then I think this country, this state would be a much better place, right?
Well, and that's what their job is. They're elected representatives to help the people, not themselves, not their pocketbook. They're supposed to work for the people. Too often, our elected officials believe that they are the ones in charge, and they need an awakening to realize that they have been given a great honor to be a representative for the people. This is a great honor. I understand what an honor I was given, and I'm going to earn every minute of it.
Okay. Speaking of this honor, do you still plan on driving your truck, or do you plan on being a senator, full time?
Oh no, I have to drive my truck. In New Jersey's infinite wisdom, they consider a state senator as a part-time employee, and a part-time employee is not eligible for health coverage. So, as needing health coverage, I need to continue my full-time job. So, I've worked it out with my boss and shifted my hours to where I can work and do Senate job.
Okay, well, I will say this: you are probably the world's most famous truck driver now, and probably one of the most powerful too.
Well, I don't know about power because I'm still going to be a freshman senator with no real authority and in a minority house. So, but I have a big mouth, so I definitely will be the loudest.
Now, I know it might be a little early now, but given your popularity and the fact that you were able to achieve what no one thought was possible, have you had any thoughts on perhaps one day running for higher office?
Oh, please. Let's not talk. I have seen the memes and the comments and stuff. Can I get through the first 2 years? And then we'll see. Maybe people won't be so keen on me in 2 years. Maybe they will. Let's get to 23 and get reelected.
Okay.
My job is right now to work for the people and do what I can do for the people. I'm not concerned with 23, 24, 25, 26. I'm not concerned with those years. I'm concerned with right now.
All right. Well, speaking of 22, which is what we are currently in, do you have any New Year's resolutions for this new year?
Well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing as far as losing weight because I still have a goal of being in the 190s, 195, 190. I hope to get to. That's, where I think I'll feel a little more comfortable and healthier. Outside of that, my goal is just to do a good job for the people and learn as much as I can, as fast as I can, and be there for them when they call on me. Whatever they need, I hope to be able to fulfill that task at hand.
Okay. And a few more questions before we let you go, because we know you are a busy man. What does Ed Durr do for fun when he's not busy? Which is impossible now since you're always busy. But let's say you weren't busy. What would you be doing for fun to kind of kick back?
Well, as you saw in that video, that Harley Davidson is one of my very fun leisure acts that I'm very sad that I only got to ride 6 times this year. So that was something I enjoy doing all the time. I like to get out there, as I call it, wind therapy. That's something nice. As you know, I have 3 pit bulls. I like to go for walks with them. And I just like spending time with my wife, Lynn, who has been nothing but a trooper in this whole thing. She has supported me because, as I said, going through with the campaign, I was working a full-time job and campaigning full-time hours. So she did not really see me. And and she still understood and she supported me just like my kids did. So without my support of my family, I wouldn't be anywhere. And they have done a great job.
Okay. Great. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we can't do if we didn't have our, family members, right? So Ed, what are some pieces of advice that you would give to maybe a first-time candidate who may want to run for office in a district that's maybe more heavily Democratic? What words of wisdom would you impart on that person?
Well, the first thing I would tell any candidate is be serious and know you're running. Don't go into it half-hearted. if you're actually going to run, know that you're running and know that it's a commitment. It is not a hobby. It is a commitment. Because if you're not serious, then don't bother. Because you're not doing yourself any good, and you're not doing the voters good. You're being ingenuine to it. But I was fortunate to have Steve Cush guiding me, who gave me the right message, gave me the right advice. You know, he'll tell you I didn't listen to him in 19, and I didn't win in 19. So I did listen to him this time out, and I was fortunate to win because I had great people and I had great advice. So that's what I would tell. If you have somebody who can give you good advice, take it.
Okay. Well, now I'm kind of curious. What did Steve Cush tell you in 19 that you didn't listen to?
The same thing he told me in 21, and
Okay.
I didn't listen because I'm a stubborn kind of guy. I like to think, you know, well, who's this guy bossing me around? And, you know, but then I realized the man has years of experience in the political field, and he knows how to win.
You know, I read that when you ran in 2017, the first time for assembly, you ran as an independent, right? It wasn't until 2019 when you decided to switch over and run as a GOP member. Why did you run as an independent that first time?
Well, in 19 or in 17, when I ran as an independent, that was I was never really politically in tune. I did my civic duty. I went and voted in the elections, but I never really concerned myself a whole lot with local politics and everything. And then I decided to jump into the race, but I had decided after the primary, so you could only get on the ticket as an independent. You couldn't get on as a Republican.
Right.
So that's why I was listed as an independent. But I've always pretty much voted Republican all my life because Ronald Reagan was the first president I ever voted for.
Ronald Reagan, by the way, is my namesake. So
yes.
So I read that you are a big Trump fan, which is awesome, right? A big fan of President Trump. Since you've won, have you spoken to President Trump?
Yes. I was fortunate to have a phone call with the president, and it was very surreal, to say the least. Just a guy like me, just minding his own business, to speak to the 45th president is something. I to this day, it still feels very good to think about that call. That just makes me feel good.
Yeah. Now, during that phone call, did President Trump give you any insight or hint as to whether or not he plans on running for president in 24?
Well, I'll be honest with you. If he did, I wouldn't tell you because I know that would have been something he would have been relaying to me if he wanted it public. But no, he did not talk about 24. We talked about my election. He talked about New Jersey, knowing it very well, having the golf courses here, which actually, the funny thing is, I used to drive for another company that I used to deliver sod to his golf courses, many of them, especially the Bedminster one. But so I'm familiar with his golf courses.
Okay. We've got a few more questions here from viewers now. I think you might have answered these questions, but let me just throw them back up. So why or what made you start in politics?
Well, as I said in another interview, what actually turned me into running was when I went to my local chief of police and asked for a concealed carry permit. He said, "Don't waste your time." Even though technically by law we do have concealed carry in New Jersey, it's a non-existent thing for a person like myself. You have to be, somebody of wealth and fame to really get it, and it's just wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have an issue with meeting certain requirements, even though I don't think I should. I can compromise because that's what government's about, right? Compromise. So I'm willing to compromise, but you cannot tell me come up with this realistic, justifiable need. Which, how do you classify justifiable need?
Right. Yeah, it's very subjective, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Another question. And I think you might have answered this, but what is your top priority when you first get to Trenton?
Well, I mean, like I said, affordability in this state is absolutely one of the priorities that has to be always on the forefront. But as I said, running in the politics, and I count myself very lucky because not only are the people that I ran with colleagues, but they've all become friends and basically family to me. And Nick DeSilvia and Tina DeSilvia have a special needs child. And that became a very touching subject to me because it's never been on my radar in the past. And now it has. And with 2020, with the school lockdowns, I learned about the suffering of many families. So that is definitely going to be something I'm interested in working to see more change to. And then, like I said, I have people who have called me and said how they're struggling because Governor Murphy put a moratorium on collecting rent when it's actually these people's income. They're not, these big $1 million landlords. They're this mom and dad's renting a second home that they bought with their savings, and now they got to pay taxes on, and they're not collecting rent, and they're losing everything. So I want to see them be made whole.
Okay.
So these are some of the things that are very important to me.
One last comment from Linda. When can we hold Governor Murphy accountable to all the deaths in nursing homes? I think the answer to that would be January 11th when Ed Durr is sworn in, right?
Well, I try and hold them accountable every day, and I'm going to continue to ask the leadership on the Democratic side to join with me because I've asked for, an investigation with subpoena power. I mean, we had an investigation with subpoena power on Bridgegate, and nobody died. So right. Don't you think we should at least have the same thing for the nursing homes?
Now, recently, I think Governor Murphy, he agreed to like $50 million in payment to some of the victims of the nursing homes, right? Do you think
yours and my money?
Yeah. Now, do you think by doing that, it's an admission of fault on the governor's part, or do you think he's just trying to, sweep the problems, away and just kind of, move on?
Well, I don't think he'll ever admit any fault. I do think it's just trying to make the problem disappear. He wants the headlines gone. But I think it needs to continually be attacked because it does show that he knows there was an issue. So I'm going to continue attacking it, and I hope that the people continue asking for it. They need to call their other legislatures and get after them and ask them. Hold the governor accountable for these things.
Yep. One more comment from a user. Make it so our children can afford to live in the state they grew up in.
Absolutely. And that is actually my main focus that I got involved because like I said, I grew up here in New Jersey. I have my kids here. I have my grandkids here. As a truck driver, I can pretty much go anywhere and get a job anytime, live anywhere. But I don't want to see that happen because I don't want to separate myself from my family, and I don't think other families should have to be separated. We see all the time that people move out, but it's always the wealthy who move out, and then they put that higher burden on you and I.
Right. Okay. Linda says, we also need to stop mandates, especially in schools. Now Murphy is trying to block kids from sports if not vaccinated.
Absolutely. This is another form of discrimination. I don't care what you say. He keeps talking about, the vaccination. Well, first of all, I don't even like that word because it's not a vaccine by any standard. I don't care if it's like encyclopedia or whatever, Webster's changes the definition to suit the leftist need. It's not a vaccine. It doesn't do what the polio vaccine does. It doesn't do what the measles vaccine does. This is a booster shot, and I'm not saying that it doesn't help people have a lesser degree of the disease or virus, but don't call it a vaccine just to change the narrative. And it is a form of.
Oop. I think we just lost the senator, probably because of poor connection. But in any case, edthetrucker.com. That is his website. If you want to learn more about Ed Durr, I'm not sure if he'll be coming back on. I think it was probably poor connection that kicked him off. But anyway, we want to thank Edward Durr, Senator-elect Edward Durr, so much for coming on our show tonight. We were actually on our last question, so it's too bad that we couldn't end it in a more formal way. But I want to thank the senator so much for coming on. If you want to learn more about his bio, his campaign, and everything else, please go to edthetrucker.com. Okay. Oh, I see the senator logging on again, so we'll give him a few seconds to see if he can do that. You know, as you can tell throughout the course of this stream, this broadcast, there was a bit of a connectivity issue with the senator. So I'm not sure if he was able to resolve that. But while we wait for the senator, let me give you one last plug about Nanny's Ristorante. Okay, so Nanny's is a fantastic restaurant in Rochelle Park, located on 53 West Passaic Street in Rochelle Park. Telephone number that's right there on the screen if you want to go and check them out. Check out their website. So if you weren't able to learn about this little contest that I'm having, this promotion, I have here a gift card, a $75 gift card, a gift certificate for Nanny's Ristorante. Now, how you win this is by posting right after this show is over. I need you to go on your Facebook, make a post about my show, okay? Tag my show, and also tag 75 friends, okay? 75 people. We're trying to grow this show, all right? I know the 75 might seem like a lot, but it's doable. You know, nowadays with social media, we have like thousands upon thousands of friends, right? Facebook friends. And I know for me, I got like 2,500 Facebook friends. So for you to tag 75 people in order to get $75 gift card at a fantastic restaurant, I think it's worth doing. And I think that you could do it too if you really wanted it. So that's the contest, right? I want you to make a post, tag Real Talk with Ronnie, tag 75 people, screenshot it, send it to my inbox, my Facebook inbox. You can find me, Ronald Joseph Lynn, or you can send it to the Real Talk with Ronnie in the inbox. And the first person that gets it in will get this gift certificate. All right. If you're the winner, I will then ask you for your address and I will send this gift certificate to you via our trustworthy postal system. Okay. Senator Durr is on right now. I think he's on. Let me see if I can add him to the stream. All right. Give me 1 second. Senator? Okay. I think maybe there are still some connection issues. Okay. Yeah, there were connection issues. But anyway, we thank him so much for coming on our show. If you think you would be a great guest for my show, please email me at realtalkwithronnie@gmail.com. Okay, realtalkwithronnie@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/realtalkwithronnie. Okay, you can also find us on YouTube by searching for Real Talk with Ronnie. All right, so please subscribe to our page, like the Facebook page, follow us, and spread the word. Okay, I want you all to spread the word. Oh, we got the senator on again. Hi, Senator.
I'm sorry, and I know that is all my fault. I happen to live out here in the boonies where my internet is not the greatest.
It's all good. We won't fault you. We won't fault you because you managed to do the impossible. You've taken out Steve Sweeney. So we will allow you some leeway when it comes to your internet.
Well, I hope to rectify that situation in the future. So,
all right.
But go ahead. I forget where we were actually.
I believe the last comment was talking about we also need to stop the mandates in schools, especially now that Murphy is trying to block kids from sports if not vaccinated. And I think
as I said, I believe this is another form of discrimination, and I do want to see that change. I mean, I am working with leadership on the Republican side to see what we can do, and I'm going to work with the Democrats also. Hopefully we can work together, and I'm hoping that they do not, capitulate and go and allow him to extend his ruling and mandates before the 11th.
Okay. Now, do you have any idea on which committees you will serve once you are sworn in?
No, I've suggested a few that I'm interested in, but that's at the hands of leadership, and I will let them select and see where they best feel I will help the party and help the state.
Okay. We got a few more comments here from Diana, who will be soon my partner in crime. Thank you, Edward Durr.
Well, you're welcome, Diana.
We got one from Basil Kraniski. By the way, he's my biggest fan. He's 92 years old, and he logs on and watches my show every single week. Always a great show. Thank you, Basil. Well, it's a great show today. It's especially a great show because we have a fantastic guest in Ed Durr. We have a comment here, one more from Ramon. In the city of Newark, Mayor Ras Baraka has signed an executive order to start a proof of vaccination card that's going to be introduced to the city of Newark, just like in New York City. What are your thoughts on that, Senator?
Again, this is a violation of people's rights. It's an invasion of privacy. It clearly violates the 4th and the 14th Amendment. I mean, to me, it's plain as day. And how they could get away with this, I do not understand. People need to fight back and say, no, it's too often that people feel, well, I can't say nothing because otherwise. Well, in strength in numbers, if we all band together, they cannot stop us all. It's easy to pick on one person, 2 people. But if there's 100 people, if there's 1,000 people, they all band together, just like business owners. If they refuse to follow the governor's mandates of these mask and vaccination passports, and say, no, we're not going to ask for this stuff. We're not going to follow these because these are unconstitutional. These are discriminatory acts. You cannot do that. I mean, they say they want to test you for the virus. Are they testing you for the measles, the mumps, chicken pox? I mean, are they testing you for herpes? What about Ebola? What about HIV? Are they testing you for these things? These things are all transmittable, but they're not testing you for these.
That's right. So I think this is clearly an overreach of power, and it's something that needs to be stopped. And we're so happy that we have people like you, Ed, that are stepping up and standing up and fighting the system. Ed, we want to thank you so much for coming on our show. We wish you the best of luck and congratulations once again for doing the impossible. On January 11th, you will officially take office as the next state senator from Legislative District 3, and we couldn't be happier and more proud of you. So thank you for all that you do, and keep fighting the good fight in Trenton and wherever else you end up going.
Well, thank you very much, Ronnie. I appreciate the opportunity to come here on the show. And I see you have my website out there, edthetrucker.com, which is going to help me get reelected. And just to let you know, there's no way I'm doing it for $6,500 this time. I know that I am going to be a prime target for the Democrats because they don't like it when the little guy wins. It doesn't fit their narrative. You have to be part of the machine. And so they're out there to get me.
Okay. Another message from Diana. Durr keeping hope alive. That's right.
Well, I want to thank you and thank everybody. And I hope that everybody had a happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I know you had a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas with a new baby.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations again on that. And enjoy that because it only just begins.
That's right. Thank you, Senator. One more request. Sorry, I might keep on saying one more, but you're
that's
so
okay.
popular
That's fine.
that everybody keeps commenting. So this is from, I believe, the Glen Rock Republican Club, right, in District 38. They want to get you we want to get you up to Bergen County as a guest speaker.
Well, okay. The best way for anything to be done, and I never say no, that is Steve Cush is helping me out with my political side with there. And if you contact him, it's Steve at sandiasstrategies.com. And you can find it on my Facebook or go to one of my Facebook pages. But contact my email, Edward_Durr at Yahoo. And I'll send you on to Steve, and you can talk to him.
All right, perfect. All right, once again, thank you, Senator Durr, Senator-elect Durr, soon to become Senator Durr on January.
Yes, I will like it losing that elect number.
All right, thank you so much. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and we wish you a fruitful, prosperous, and very successful 2022 and beyond.
Well, if I'm successful, that'll be New Jersey's success.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
Okay, wow. So that was my exclusive interview with Senator-elect Edward Durr, soon to be Senator Edward Durr, on January 11th. This is a guy who accomplished the impossible. He is the ultimate David in New Jersey. He took down the Goliath of New Jersey, Steve Sweeney, longest serving Democratic state Senate president in the history of our state. And he took him down with a little bit over, I believe he said $6,000, $6,000 to $7,000. But more importantly, it was his message, his tenacity, his campaigning, and just his patriotism that allowed him to overtake a guy of Steve Sweeney's stature. So we thank Senator Durr for coming on. If you want to learn more about him and his campaign, his platform, what he plans on doing for our great state, go to edthetrucker.com. edthetrucker.com. All right, so guys, that's it for today. As I was saying, the contest for this gift certificate still stands. As soon as this show is over, I want you to make a post, okay? Tag Real Talk with Ronnie, tag 75 friends, and the first person that screenshots that, sends it to me via message, gets this gift card, okay? $75 worth. Enough for a very good solo meal, or a meal for two people, right? So if it's your anniversary, if it's your birthday, if you want to go for a great meal, I suggest you try to win this contest. All right. In the meantime, please go to nanny.com to check out the restaurant and their menu. And I want to thank you all once again for coming on my show tonight, for watching my show. Join me live next Sunday, January 9th at 8 p.m. And also, one very important thing that I almost forgot, we are having another show, another weekday show. So from now on, we're going to have another show on the weekdays, because the demand for Real Talk with Ronnie has been exploding, right? So on Wednesdays, we're going to have another show this coming Wednesday. It's another segment of Round Talk with Ronnie. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. live here on Facebook and on my YouTube channel, okay? One more comment before we go. Great show. Thank you. Well, thank you, Linda, for participating and for asking all those great questions. All right, guys. It is January 2nd, 2021. You're now watching Real Talk with Ronnie live. My name is Ronald Joseph Lynn, and thank you for joining me tonight. God bless you. Have a great Sunday, and I will see you all on, I believe, Wednesday, right? I'll see you all on Wednesday. All right. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.